Welcome to Truth Every Man Learns Too Late. One truth, one lesson, one mistake you don't have to make. The truth starts now. I knew a guy in my neighborhood who believed he had finally found the one, the woman of his dreams, the future mother of his kids. He woke up from bed thinking about her. He stayed up late replying to her messages. He rearranged his schedule whenever she wanted to see him. He stopped going to the gym because he wanted to be with her. He stopped calling his friends because she became his best friend. And all of a sudden, his dreams slowly became their dreams. His purpose became their future. And without even realizing it, his identity became wrapped around one person. And for a while, everything felt perfect to him. Until one fateful evening, out of the blue, without announcing, she left him. Just like that. And she left not because he was evil. Not even because he was not trying enough. Not because he didn't love her anymore. She simply made a different decision without considering the future they have been planning together, without even thinking about his feelings, his mental health, his well being, without putting him into consideration. She made a decision that suited her own interests at the moment. She made that decision and left. And before she left, there were no signs of any problems in the couple. Everything seemed to be moving on smoothly as far as the guy was concerned. After that, bro, I saw someone who was like an elder brother to me lose himself completely. He became unrecognizable because at that same moment, that's when he realized he didn't only lose a relationship, he had already lost himself way before. The gym was gone. His friendships were faded. His ambitions had been put on hold. His confidence had disappeared. He stared into the mirror and asked himself a question millions of men ask themselves every day. Who am I now? And that question is where today's truth begins. But before we get into it, brother, if you're new here and you're tired of surface level conversations and you really want deep conversations that have to do with men, masculinity, modern day dynamics, how men are treated in society, how to be a wiser, better, stronger version of yourself, you're in the right place. Smash that subscribe button right now. Almost every day of the week, we drop videos explaining men's realities, reacting to crazy stuff that's gone against men. And every Wednesdays, we drop truth. I mean, this is the first one, but every Wednesdays, we drop truth about lessons men learn the hard way if they don't pay attention. So, join the community, learn the truths, learn how to move in modern day dynamics, and invite your friends as well. Now, let's get into it. Here's the first thing most men eventually learn. If you want, you can make a woman an important part of your life, but women should never become the entire purpose of your life. I repeat, women should never become the entire purpose of your life. And I'll tell you why. Most of us, many men, are taught right from the young age that happiness begins when the man finds a right woman. Movies have told us that. Songs have told us that. Friends tells us that every day. Social media now tells us that every day. But very few people tell men something equally important, which is that a relationship cannot replace your identity. Because if you don't know who you are before you enter a relationship, eventually that relationship becomes your identity. And when that relationship eventually changes, or when it unfortunately ends, as it's in most cases, that's when you start trying to learn yourself. And that's the worst place a man can be, because it can destroy you in so many ways you don't even think of. One, you've wasted time, you've wasted resources, you've wasted your energy, your mental health is damaged, your money and everything, because you put faith and built your life around someone who has different priorities, who is just there for the time being. That's why so many men don't just struggle with breakup. They struggle with losing direction because they accidentally made someone else the center of their world, and that's a huge burden to carry. Now, here's the healthier approach. If you want to get into a relationship, for those who still think it's good to be in a relationship, because I know so many guys here, they don't even want to date anymore. And that's good. That's okay. That's not the discussion we're having today. If you ever want to be in a relationship, here's the first thing to do: build a life with purpose, develop your character, pursue meaningful work, protect your friendships, take care of your health, keep growing as a man. Then, after all of that, you can invite someone to share that life, not to become the reason that life exists. So instead of constantly asking, what do I do so that she stays? You begin asking, am I living in a way that truly reflects the man I want to become? Because that's a much stronger foundation. And the crazy thing is that most men don't realize that sometimes it's not even the woman they are chasing. It's simply what they believe she will make them feel. Maybe she'll make them feel respected. Maybe she'll make them feel better. Maybe she'll make them feel chosen. Maybe she'll make them feel important. Maybe she'll make them feel complete. And that's why rejection hurts so much. Not because one person said no, but simply because you tied your self worth to someone saying yes. And you are not alone. There are so many men in this same situation. And believe me, that's a dangerous place to build confidence. Because the moment your confidence depends on another person's approval, you have handed them the steering wheel to your emotional life. Now, let me tell you an anecdote so you can understand better what I'm trying to say. Two men apply for the same job. Both get rejected. The first one looks at himself and says, maybe I'm not good enough. The second one looks at himself and says, I'm disappointed, but I will improve and I'll apply somewhere else. Same rejection, but completely two different responses. Why is that? It's simply because someone else's confidence was built on the outcome, and the other one's confidence was built on his identity. And the same thing happens in relationships. One breakup destroys one man, another man learns from the breakup and move on. So the difference is not always the relationship. The difference is what they built their identity on before entering the relationship. Now, here's something I want to start telling young men. Listen, bro. Attention is not the same like affection. Affection is not the same as commitment. Commitment is not the same as compatibility. And compatibility is not the same as building a successful life together. You can get attention from someone, but it doesn't mean they are affectionate to you. They can even be affectionate to you, but they won't commit to you. They might commit, but it doesn't mean that you guys are compatible. You can be compatible, but it doesn't mean that you can build a successful life together. That's what I'm trying to let you understand. And that's what I want to let young guys understand. Because I see a lot of men confuse all these things. A woman giving you attention doesn't automatically mean she's the right partner for your future. And likewise, being attracted to someone doesn't mean they are right for you. Strong emotions can always make us ignore important questions. Never forget to ask, do we share the same values? Do we solve problems well together? Can we trust each other? Can we grow in the same direction? Those questions often matter more over time than the excitement you get in the first few weeks or first few months of the relationship. Never forget, butterflies make great memories, but character builds great relationships. Another mistake men make is that they start negotiating away pieces of themselves. They stop seeing their friends. They stop pursuing their hobbies. They stop training. They stop chasing their mission. Little by little, block by block, they become smaller, not because someone forced them, but because they gradually convinced themselves that keeping the relationship was better than becoming the person they have always dreamt of becoming, that it required sacrificing the man they wanted to become. Here's the crazy thing. The same qualities that attracted someone to you in the beginning, meaning your ambitions, your confidence, your purpose, are often the same qualities you abandon when you start seeing that person. And more importantly, these are the same qualities you abandon when you stop investing in yourself. And take it to the bank. Hear it from me. Never sacrifice your purpose to protect a relationship. Protect your purpose and allow the relationship to grow around it. That's the winning formula. Now, think about a tree. A healthy tree has deep roots. When wind comes, it bends, but it never breaks. Now, imagine a tree with shallow roots. The first storm tears it off the ground. Purpose is a man's root. And without those strong, healthy roots, every storm feels like the end of the world. When you have the strong roots, you still hurt, you still grieve, you bend, but you're never broken. You never lose yourself. That's where you want to be. And if you think I'm just telling you stories, think of every man you've ever known in your life. I know you must have met a guy, a friend of yours, who out of a sudden just disappeared because he went into a new relationship. He stopped calling. He stopped texting back. He stopped answering your calls. He stopped meeting with the boys. You don't see or hear from him anymore. Then 6 months later, the relationship ends, and suddenly he remembers the boys. He's calling everyone. He wants to meet. He wants to chat. He wants to discuss. There is a lesson hidden in it, which is that relationships should expand your life. They should not replace your life. And bro, I have just a short pitch to make. If these conversations are making you to think different, if these conversations are giving you a direction of thinking of changing your life to be a better man, to be a stronger version of yourself, to be unapologetically you, masculine and proud, consider becoming the member of this channel. Members help push the conversation, and if you want, check our merch below. The polos, the t-shirts, the hoodies, the opt-out gang. Visit our store. Your contribution and your support will only make us bigger. And you can be proud that you supported the mission. Because men have to talk for men, and men have to protect men. No one is doing it for us. Now, one thing I want you to understand is that a man doesn't lose himself overnight. It's always a slow leak. One compromise, then another compromise, then another compromise, until one day he wakes up and realizes like he's living another person's life. And it's not because someone forced them, because it's easy to blame someone at that point. No, it happens because you stop asking yourself one simple question: am I becoming the man I want to become? And as a man, that question never disappears. And another thing I see that really makes me mad is because many men put women on a pedestal. Not because women ask for it, but simply because they convince themselves that one person holds the key to their happiness. And the problem with putting someone on a pedestal is that you automatically tell them that you are beneath them, that they are above you, even though you are the one taking care of them, even though you are the one sacrificing everything. But you make them feel like they are doing you a favor to be with you. Healthy relationships are not built on worship. They are built on mutual respect. And respect can never grow where one person constantly seeks approval from the other person. And know this, the moment you make someone your whole life, you stop being the person they were first of all attracted to. Think about that. It's a harsh lesson, but a one worth learning. And the good or the bad thing is that thousands of, if not millions of men eventually learns this through experience. Imagine two houses. The first is built on sand. The second is built on solid rock. They look identical from the outside. Then the storms hit. The house on sand is going to collapse definitely, but the one on rock will survive. Relationships are the same. If your relationship is built on fear, fear of losing her, fear of being alone, fear of not finding someone else, eventually every disagreement starts feeling like an earthquake. But when it's built on confidence, when it's built on purpose, when it's built on communication, when it's built on mutual respect, the storm will come, but they won't destroy anything. And men in such situations, men in such relationships stop leading themselves. And you know, leadership is not about controlling other people. Leadership starts with self-control. Can you control your emotions? Can you control your impulse? Can you control your anger? Can you keep your word? Because a man who can't lead himself will eventually struggle to lead any part of his life. That's why self-leadership always comes before relationship leadership. Now here's something worth taking home. The strongest men aren't the ones who need the least love. They are the ones who don't abandon themselves in order to receive it. And there's a huge difference there. One man changes who he is so people won't leave. Another man stays true to his values. Even though people might leave, one lives for acceptance, the other lives with integrity. And integrity is expensive because it costs you opportunities, it costs you comfort, and most of the time it costs you relationships. But in the long run, it earns you something far more valuable, which is self respect. And bro, never trade your self respect for temporal acceptance. Never do that. Now, let's be clear. This is not about distrusting women. It's not about assuming the worst. It's not about seeing relationships as a competition. It's simply about remembering something so many men forget. A healthy relationship should add to your life. It should not and should never replace your life. It should never replace your purpose. It should never replace your health, your values, your friendships. Those things should exist, whether you're single, whether in a relationship, whether you are married, whether you are dating or you are out of the dating market. Because the strongest relationships are always built by two separate people who each have strong foundations on their own. So, what's the truth every man learns late about women? It's not that women are the problem. It's that many men spend years looking for someone else to complete a life they haven't even finished building themselves. The relationship with that woman was not supposed to become your identity. It was supposed to become part of your journey. Build a life you're proud of. Become a man you respect. Choose relationships that support your mission because that's a foundation that lasts. Now, if you're serious and you want to become strong, not only mentally but physically, check out this my YouTube channel. It's all about men's fitness, testosterone, weight loss, lifting weights, men's well-being. Go there, subscribe because it's going to blow up very soon with content that fits your need. And if you've decided that dating or being in a relationship is not what you want to do now, you're still thinking if you should stop or should continue, I will help you make that decision. I have something for you. It's free. It's called the opt-out decision test. It's not a motivation. It's a mirror in front of you that will help you decide if you are ready to opt out or not, or if you are doing it out of fear or emotions or logic. Again, it's free. The link is on the first comment below. Grab it and make good use of it. Now tell me in the comment section, what's the lesson a relationship has taught you about yourself that you never knew? Maybe someone might learn something from you. And if you think this truth was something worth learning, click the next video. There's another lesson for a man to know in this day and age, because we are all about educating men and highlighting things that needs to be seen by men. Next Wednesday, we will have our truth number 2, which will be about marriage. But before then, always check on the channel. We always drop content almost every day. We react to crazy stuff and we educate men on masculinity and what men need to know about the double standards and how to move in a world where men are blamed for everything and appreciated for nothing. Thank you for being here. Share with your brother who needs to watch this. Smash that subscribe button. Invite your brothers and see you in the next one. Copy that.